Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. WWE had a successful event in Perth, Australia, under Triple H's leadership as Crown Jewel, and the shows around it were filled with good matches and shocking twists. Meanwhile, Vince Russo believes that the management needs to disband the Judgment Day. In 2022, the Judgment Day was created under the old regime, and WWE Hall of Famer Edge was the one to lead the group. In the coming months, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley joined the fray. However, the rising stars betrayed the rated R superstar when Finn Balor was introduced as a member. Since 2022, a few different iterations of the Judgment Day have been formed with every passing year under Triple H's creative regime. Speaking on Behind the Turnbuckle Studios' The Coach and Bro Show, Vince Russo talked about the Vision's recent turn on Seth Rollins. During this, Russo stated that the company needs to end the Judgment Day, as they haven't meant much on WWE's main roster after Priest and Ripley were removed from the group. After Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley were gone from the villainous group following WWE SummerSlam 2024, the faction added Liv Morgan and Carlito as new members. However, the group still feuded with their former members for months on Monday Night Raw. Earlier this year, Roxanne Perez was added to the faction when Liv Morgan went on an injury hiatus from the weekly product. The female members are involved in the women's division, and others, including Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Dominic Mysterio, are champions of their respective divisions. While Dirty Dom is also active in Triple A and the current Triple Omega champion, Balor and McDonough haven't defended their World Tag Team Championship for over 100 days as champions. It'll be interesting to see what's next for the faction on the red brand in the coming months. Akanch is a WWE news writer in Sportskeeda. After getting hooked on professional wrestling in 2008, watching WWE and TNA, he found himself admiring the work ethic and passion of the wrestlers for their craft, the business, and the industry as a whole. With a postgraduate degree in writing and currently pursuing a master's degree in communication, Akanch's knack for writing and love of pro wrestling eventually led him to SK 7 years ago, before he found a permanent place in the division in 2021, initially writing SEO content and transitioning to news in April 2022. He is committed to producing detailed, factual, and unbiased reports free of opinion, which will resonate with both long-term and newer fans. When not writing about pro wrestling, Akanch is engaged in the dynamic worlds of pop culture, anime, and Fortnite. In recent months, WWE's landscape has been dominated by larger-than-life factions, groups of superstars banded together, holding sway over storylines, shifting alliances, and shaping main event scenes. Few are as prominent, or under scrutiny, as the Judgment Day. Formed in 2022 and reshaped multiple times under Triple H's creative regime, the group once included Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, Finn Balor, others. Over time, key members have left, newer members have come in. And according to ex-WWE writer Vince Russo, the faction stopped meaning anything after those departures. Russo's argument: at a certain point, a faction becomes stagnant. When its core identity is diluted, when its original members leave, or its raison d'etre becomes vague or redundant, the group ceases to carry weight. It becomes just another nameplate, sometimes even a hindrance. Russo says that after Ripley and Priest left, Judgment Day's uniqueness faded, its narrative purpose was undercut. Here's a more developed case for why Triple H should heed this call and, in a bold move, disband a major faction like the Judgment Day. Then, what could follow, both in storyline and in backstage strategy, to make WWE stronger for it? Every faction's power comes from its central characters, the voices that define its tone, direction, presence. The Judgment Day began with a strong foundation: Edge's leadership, Ripley's ferocity, Priest's consistency. As those figures drifted away, the faction was forced to refit itself around newer faces, resulting in weaker group identity. When original pillars leave, what remains is often a shell. WWE currently uses many factions. When several perform similar roles, Antagonists to babyfaces, brooders, chaos bringers, the uniqueness of each is threatened. The Judgment Day risks being just another faction. Fans can get fatigued if the same sort of stories keep getting played out under different banners. Sometimes, less is more. When a faction is static, new members may be swallowed up, failing to shine individually. Some performers thrive best with their own identity, their own angles. Keeping them locked in a faction that doesn't elevate them meaningfully can stunt their growth. Disbanding allows stars to be challenged, evolve, and become singles draws again. Disbanding gives creative license. It's an opportunity to reintroduce its members in new rivalries, alignments, and roles. Shifting someone from heel to tweener or face, giving them fresh feuds, or even letting them come back later under new circumstances. All of which can re-energize both talent and the roster. It also signals to fans and talent alike that WWE is willing to take risks, change boldly. When factions cease to feel consequential, the stakes drop. If Judgment Day can no longer drive major storylines, create believable threats, or cause major upheaval, then storylines lose tension. Disbanding could restore meaning. For example, in the moment of breakup, there must be consequences. Betrayal, new rivalries, elevated matches. That gravity is compelling. Disbanding a major faction shouldn't be done lightly. It has to be earned, angled well, and produced payoff. Here's how it could be staged. A slow burn betrayal. Perhaps a trusted member, or former central figure, returns or interacts with Judgment Day and seeds dissent. Finn Balor, or someone else, could serve as a catalyst, questioning decisions, demanding more spotlight, or trying to free themselves from judgment. Through weeks of tension. High-stakes match with stipulation. For example, Judgment Day versus one of its own, or versus an opposing faction, with the stipulation that if Judgment Day loses, it must disband. Such matches raise interest and make their end meaningful. Character-driven fallout. Once disbanded, each member should go in a distinct direction. One might chase singles gold, another might try leadership in a new group, another could drift to face turn. The fragmentation should produce new, compelling stories. Renewed relevance. Breaking the group can make former members feel fresher and unexpected. Fans may re-engage with them in single statuses. Stronger moments. A breakup can itself be a marquee moment, generating buzz, social media, ticket sales, and pay-per-view draws. Cultivate new top-tier stars. Without being in the shadow of a faction, individuals get to shine. Not handling the aftermath. If creative drops the ball post-breakup, wasted momentum will undermine the whole effort. Loss of group draws. Factions often sell via group appeal. Splitting them might reduce their immediate oomph if not managed well. Fan backlash. Some fans are invested in the group dynamics. They may resist significant changes unless the payoff feels real. The Judgment Day has had multiple iterations. The previous core members are gone. As Russo said, at this point, Judgment Day stopped meaning anything. WWE under Triple H needs strong, crisp storytelling. As shows continue weekly, audiences expect deadlines, consequences, clear stakes. Long-running, vague factions without sharp direction erode that. There's a larger roster of rising talents. Someone disbanding allows upcoming wrestlers more room to grow, without being buried in established group hierarchies. Splintering the group and then putting members immediately back together in new but similar factions. That dilutes credibility. Allowing weak feud bookings or lackluster matches after the breakup, that wastes the moment. Integrity in storytelling. Give each departing or transitioning member meaningful arcs. Bold moves, surprise betrayals, heel-to-face turns, or vice versa. Promotional support. Promos, vignettes, matches that underscore the impact of the breakup. Triple H, as Chief Content Officer, has overseen a lot of bold changes in WWE. He has reshaped NXT, revitalized main roster storytelling in many ways. But sometimes, the strongest move is knowing when to let go. Disbanding the Judgment Day, not out of failure, but because its time has passed, could be one of those strong, defining moments. It would send a message. Factions aren't permanent, identity matters, storytelling has consequences. It would allow for a reset, open space for new stars, new rivalries, fresh investing in both characters and fans. If WWE leans into that, it could spark renewed excitement, deeper emotional investment, and fresh, high-stakes drama. And in a business that thrives on moments, pairings, betrayals, and fine-edged storytelling, disbanding a major faction may be just the kind of bold move that sets WWE apart.